Welcome to another edition of the Nick and Rob Homer Hour. We've got the Week 9 results, and it's trade deadline day, so we got a lot to talk about. The Jets made some crazy trades, and we've got Ryan back to talk all things Patriots.
Welcome to the Nick and Rob Homer Hour, and we've got a guest here, Redemption Hour,
Redemption Hour.
Ryan. Ryan's going to be joining the show, talking some Patriots. We had some sound issues last time, but he had so much good sports insight that I was just like, oh, we got to get him. Or both of us were saying we need to get him back on, right?
We got to get Ryan back, especially when it, with our sound issues and not our guests. But we're excited to have you back, Ryan, and when we had you on last, we had only hope for the Patriots. Now we have expectations, dreams, goals. Things are good. So how's it been going for you?
It's been going well. I mean, this Patriots team, it's just, I know they have a light schedule, and that's kind of been the rhetoric with a lot of people, but Clapgate in particular. So when something like Clapgate happens, if it's a scrappy team, if it's an up-and-coming team, usually the media, people will give them their flowers, like, hey, they're doing what they can to win. But I think the sign that the Patriots are back is that people are treating us like the villains again.
I love it. I love it.
We're once again the bad guys who are cheating to win. And I think it means people are afraid of us again. We're not just a W on people's schedule anymore.
Exactly. And Nick, if you didn't hear about this because you were focused on the Cowboys a lot this week, Raheem Morris, the Falcons coach, who the Falcons chose to hire over Bill Belichick, probably a good call seeing what's happened at UNC. But you never know. We never know. Maybe we never would have dealt with Jordan Hudson trying to remake Bill Belichick for the NIL era. But he was complaining in his post game that during a crucial drive at the end of the game, Michael Penix, it was clear the announcers even called it like, oh, he got that snap before he wanted it. He panicked. He immediately threw it away, got an intentional grounding, killed the drive, essentially sealed the game. Raheem Morris was blaming it on the Patriots defenders clapping. However, upon video review, because believe it or not, these things are recorded when they play these games. There is maybe one of their safeties out in the far back secondary that might be clapping, maybe, and that's it. And I'm sorry, but if your center is jumping from a safety clapping 20+ yards away, you aren't going to win that game.
I'll play the enemy that you guys did clap. You're a bunch of cheaters, and that's what you're all about.
Yeah, and then hopefully at the end of the season, I look at you and I do this. And that's a 7. That's a 7.
That's a response. I wish we would cheat more. No, I'm just joking. Actually, yeah, Deflategate. Hey, you got a news story that ended with Gate again, and I love what you said, Ryan, because that must mean you're back.
Well, the best part about it being called Clapgate, Mike Vrabel termed it when he got asked about it. He goes, "Oh, we're talking about Clapgate." But let's jump into more Patriots and other stuff. But we might as well just jump right into some Eastside news and lead with the Pats.
Yeah, let's lead with the Pats. Just pick it up where we're leaving off here. So we're going to Eastside news.
This is Eastside news.
All right, Ryan. So first off, Patriots won their 6th game in a row. They escaped with a 24-23 win at home against the Falcons. And yes, we've got the last place schedule, but the Falcons should never be an easy out. They've got Bijan Robinson. They've got a Drake London, a bunch of other weapons. So I want to start off just asking you real simple, what were your impressions of the game this week?
You know what? I think it's one of those games where you look at it and say offensively, we didn't play our A game, but we came away with a win, which I think is important because there are going to be weeks where you have these silly fumbles, these stupid interceptions, and it's does the team have the wherewithal to overcome that nonsense and walk out with the W? And the Patriots were able to do that, and I think it's they're beating the teams they're supposed to beat, and then these games that are going to be a little tougher. Atlanta was a tough test. We got Tampa Bay coming up. It's like, does this team have what it takes to find ways to win? And they did that Sunday, and it just feels great.
Yeah, it really does. This was not an easy game. The Pats actually had control, and then the Falcons came back in the fourth quarter. Overall, this was probably Drake May's worst game of the season, and it was still pretty good when you think about the fact that he was sacked 6 times, which in the last 2 weeks brings his sack total up to, I believe, 11. He went 19 of 29, 259 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had that pick. There were some fumbles as well along the way, but we're not getting too much rushing happening. Our rushing is struggling. Travion Henderson led the way, 14 for 55. Terrell Jennings went ahead. He got the touchdown, 11 for 35. Ramondre Stevenson out with an injury. We didn't have him, but those stats, the sacks, lack of rushing, it highlights a key thing for me, and that's this offensive line still needs a lot of work.
Yeah, I think Campbell's been amazing, but he's one piece in a 5-piece puzzle. And they gotta keep working at it. And obviously the trade deadline's passed, so we're not going to get any additions through a trade. So it's figuring out what the deficiencies are. There are a couple sweeps where they just got blown up in the backfield this week and stuff like that, where it's like, you can live with a play that goes for a yard or 2, but you have a play that goes for -5. That's tough.
I got a big question for you, the Patriots fans out there with the trade deadline. How do you guys feel about staying, pun intended, pat on the trade deadline? Like that was kind of weird because it looks like they can win now, and they didn't want to do anything. It looks like.
I'm totally okay with that. Our defense is in great shape, especially now that it's a lot healthier than it was. Our offense is getting there. I mean, we still put up 24 points this week. The main deficiency I see us having, I know there were some rumors about getting in another running back, maybe like a Tony Pollard. I don't think another running back would solve it. I think we need to solve it on the offensive line, and you don't solve that mid-season. You need time. They got to gel. Hopefully they'll keep getting better. Morgan Moses hasn't been what we wanted him to be on the field, but that doesn't mean he hasn't been teaching Will Campbell all sorts of stuff, getting this team ready. I think we're at least a year ahead. I'm cool with not making a trade.
Yeah, I think you're 7-2. Your offense is it's winning you games. There are some areas you're deficient, but I think Vrabel, and I think you see it with the trades of like Duggar and whatnot. He's trying to establish a culture in the locker room, and I'd hate for them to make a move and jeopardize whether it be draft capital or other type of talent on the team, just to try to get some short-term gain and give up some long-term pain by throwing some bubble gum in a dam. So I'm happy that they didn't make it. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like it's the trade deadline. You want to see your team make a big splashy move, but given the situation they're in, I'm very happy with what they're doing, and I have full faith in what Vrabel's kind of got cooking there in the locker room.
Yeah, I agree. And since I haven't said it yet today, once again, I thank God for Amy Adams Strunk and her stupid decision of firing Mike Vrabel, allowing him to come back home. So thank you, Titans ownership. You're wonderful. All right.
And
So Ryan, I've got some questions for you. Since last time you were on, we mostly talked about what we were hoping to see. I kind of want to talk about what we've seen so far and what's been an awesome season. I think they're already at 7-2. They're doing good. They should make the playoffs in an AFC that's ripe for the taking. But let's start off. Who are the 3 Patriots you've been most impressed by this season?
So I think first I got to go Will Campbell. I know their offensive line has been tough, but he's, we went into the draft last year. We win that week 18 game against Buffalo, drop from, I think it was like the 2 pick to the 4 pick. All of a sudden we're out on Abdul Carter. We're out on Travis Hunter. And it's like, all right, we're going to take this tackle from, LSU. And I was definitely bummed, but just seeing, him out there, the things he's doing, a lot of like the metrics, Pro Football Focus has him as a top tackle in the NFL. He's with Drake May at Celtics games. It's like, this is his bodyguard, and he's been there. So, I don't know what I was expecting. I mean, we did spend a lot of draft capital on him, but he's been phenomenal, and I'm so happy with that pick. Another person is Marcus Jones, AFC Defensive Player of the Month. Man, has he been? And it's, he's made some great. He had that pick against Josh Allen, but he's had some freaking punt returns too. I mean, he's doing it on 2 sides of the field, defense and special teams. He's just been a spark, and every time he's out there, last game was a tough one for our D-backs with Drake London. He looked like he was a kid in a candy shop, but Marcus Jones has been phenomenal. And last, I think I got to finally admit I'm a booty boy. I look back at that the Patriots wide receiver core like 3 years ago. It was like Booty, Douglas, Devontae Parker, Tyquan Thornton. And it was kind of like, oh God, are any of these guys going to be in a roster in 3 years? But Booty's been phenomenal. And, you can see the chemistry he has with May and his ability to, he's out running a deep route and just kind of looking back and making sure he's under the ball. He's taken that a big leap in this 3rd year. And I was bummed he was out last week, but I'm excited to see what the rest of the season has for him.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love those picks. So I've been talking about Marcus Jones a lot, especially I've been talking about, he reminds me a lot of Troy Brown from back in the original dynasty, where he's gonna make the tough plays. He's gonna make the get in there, get dirty, make a win happen. And that's what he's been doing. He's got his new contract. I'm so psyched for that. And yeah, Booty's been phenomenal. I'm hoping he had a hamstring in this last game. It sounds weird. I don't want them to rush him back because a hamstring can keep flaring up. I'd almost rather keep him out against Tampa Bay, even though we need him, so that we have him down the stretch versus having him flare up. But yeah, I love that you picked 3 amazing Patriots and you stayed away from the easy answer of Drake May, because we all love Drake May. But there's been so many Pats that are playing so well. So the flip side to that, though, who's a player that you would say has to step up? Who's holding us back right now?
I think I got to go with another rookie, Travion Henderson. And it's not so much he's had some solid games. He starting to get a little more volume, but it just feels like, we saw him in the preseason. He looked electric. He looked like he was, a sidestep away from breaking a 60-yarder anytime he stepped on the field. And, then the season starts and Stevenson's the veteran. He gets the start. He has this early fumbling issues, and it was almost like it felt like Henderson just kept snatching, defeat out of the jaws of victory. Like every time he got a chance to do something, he'd have a fumble, or, when we drafted him, all we heard about how he was great in pass protection. Like, here's a guy you could put in a 3rd down and, maybe he goes out and catches a pass. He can also block. Hasn't been great there either. And I just haven't seen that kind of breakaway agility and just change of direction that we saw in the preseason. It just feels like every time he touches the ball, he's leaving a couple yards out on the field. So, and he is a rookie. I understand getting used to the speed of the NFL takes time, but I think given what the Patriots, rushing looks like, and especially on alleviating some of the offensive pressure on May, they're going to need Travion or a running back to step up and really take some of that load from I think right now you have Travion has like 290 rushing yards. Stevenson's has 280 and Drake May has 270. It's like I love that Drake May is good on his feet, but I don't like him out there that much. I don't want to risk him getting hurt, So a running back, I think Travion's got the talent. Just I'd love to see him just be a spark plug in the second half.
I really like so you have a three-headed monster again, like you guys are normally having. It's just one of them's the quarterback, Drake May.
Yeah, and hopefully it's a little less for Drake May as the season goes on. But yeah, I would say it seems like the shine's worn off a little bit. I'm still excited about Travion, but I think, like you said it, Ryan, he's really trying to catch up to the speed of the game. Preseason, he had a very simple amount of the playbook, I'm sure, and now he's got the full playbook, and you see that takes time. Even I don't think it was this last game against the Falcons, but 2 weeks ago, I was listening to the game, and they were praising him because he had several decent runs, and then he had the ball right at the 1 yard line. Scott Zolak, the great local play-by-play guy, was giving him praise, and then they proceeded to immediately he fumbled it at the 1, and it was just like, oh. And they even go right when we tried to praise him. There you go. So yeah. I think he's gonna be good, but yeah, he's up there for me. And Pats that need to step up. Morgan Moses is another one. That whole offensive line outside of Will Campbell for me needs to step it up. But yeah, that's a good point. But the exciting thing is, again, we are currently 7-2. What are your expectations for the rest of the season?
So we have 8 games left. We have 4 a bye, then 4. The 4 before the bye, we have Tampa next week. Then we have the Jets. I know you guys are going to cover the trade deadline, but they're waving the white flag on the season.
Yeah.
We took one of the weapons away from you guys. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You, the Colts, you just like the Jets giving away all the Infinity Stones. We got the Bengals, which, their offense has been red hot, but their defense it's bad. You want to talk about snatching defeat out of the jaws of victory. It's like that defense can't stop anything. And then that right before the bye, we have Tampa Bay, Jets, Bengals, and then Giants. So I like when I look at that foursome, I think realistically we should probably go 3-1. So then going into the bye, you're 10-3. But then post bye, you got Bills, Ravens in Baltimore, Jets in Miami. So again, Jets. Nice. We got our 2 Jets game after they unloaded all their talent. But I look at that post bye as maybe realistically 2-2. So I'm thinking this could be a 12-5 team. Possibly going for the number 1 seed, but hopefully getting a home playoff game.
Yeah. If you had to, I think we'll get that home playoff game. I like that. Do you think we're gonna? So home playoff game. So you're thinking they hold on to the division?
Yeah, just because Buffalo's gone. They have some tough matchups coming up. So I think we got Buffalo at home, and that's probably going to be a game for the division. And I think just the way we've been playing, I think it's a game the Patriots can win.
So that's a true homer over there.
Yeah.
He's saying they're going to win the division. You need to step up your game, man.
I'm cautiously optimistic. We're definitely making the playoffs. I think 12-5 is very reasonable, and I think if we beat Buffalo down the stretch, I think we win the division, and then we just got to hope that somehow Mahomes and company miss the playoffs, and we're not opening the playoffs with them coming to Foxborough.
And the Bills, they got a big win against Kansas City, but seriously, this year at least, they don't look like this juggernaut that we always predict them to be. So it wouldn't be too shocking if the Patriots were able to find a way to overtake them for the division.
Yeah, it would not be shocking. Do you think we can make some noise in the playoffs? I'm sure we'll probably have you on closer to the end of the season, but if you were to pick right now, do you think does this team shout Final Four to you?
I feel like the intensity turns up to another level in the playoffs, and this is going to be a year where we kind of see, how does Drake May, God willing, we get there, perform when those lights are bright. Because I think, it's going to be a whole nother level for the whole team. Campbell, they are a fairly young team, so it's I mean, pie in the sky. I'm thinking, maybe they get to the AFC Conference Championship. I feel like if you had told me week one that's where the Patriots would have been, I would have been over the moon.
I might have been.
But again, yeah, it's the competition is going to be so tough, and the intensity is going to be ramped up so much that, and this team's so young. I think it's just so tough to predict what they're going to be when they get there. I mean, Drake May has seemed so poised, and he's handled some of these games. He's been a true game manager. It's just like, you're going against the Chiefs, D, you're going against Buffalo's D, you're going against Baltimore's D. There's no more Saints and Raiders and Jets. Your every game is a top notch, opponent. So it'll be a good barometer for where we are in terms of a franchise.
Yeah, it certainly will be.
Well, I guess, that's the Patriots, and I think they are looking really good. So I think we're about to find out pretty shortly how great they are going to be. But, you were talking about the trade deadline a little earlier before we send you off, Ryan. Do you have any thoughts on some of the big trades that happened? Winners, losers, the Jets?
You know what? I don't hate what the Jets did in terms of, I think they're already 1-7. Fields doesn't look like the guy. It's a lost season, so it's like, why not shore up some draft capital? I just don't know if I trust the Jets to make the right moves with that draft. I mean, you amass this draft capital to draft good young players like Sauce Gardner, and then a couple of years later you trade him away for more lottery tickets. I just don't. I don't know. The Colts. I mean, you want to talk about short-term gain for long-term pain. You're kind of putting all your chips on the table, and they have played really well, but that's a lot of your future in terms of draft capital in one guy. So they must feel very confident that this team has some legs.
Yeah, I mean, and we're going to talk about the Colts specifically more in a little bit later, but I think that was a bad move by the Colts. They are an older team than the Patriots are right now overall, but even more so a reason not to give up that 2 number 1 pick.
I find it very strange what they did. That was a little too early in my book, but hey, you know what? Gamblers are going to be gambling. The new owners are in town, and they're saying, we want to win, and we want to win now. So I find that very interesting that they did that. But, hey, who knows? I mean, they do have a really good football team. They're playing really well. Why not? Let's go all in and try to get a win. But, yeah, it's crazy what the Colts are doing there. And the Jets, I'm right there with you, Ryan. I think they're making smart decisions. It's just if you don't have a good football team, then what does it matter if you have talent? Let's just get new blood in there. And to fix their problems, I think would be simple. You just start drafting offensive linemen before you draft a quarterback. I've always been a big believer in that.
Yeah, especially there's not a good team. There's no QB that is going to change your franchise this year, anyways.
Yeah, that's just my theory. But
what about you guys? Are Texas boys, not Manning?
No. We love Arch. He's had.
Do you know?
He's had some amazing games. Arch lit the world on fire this last week. We love him. He's still growing. He's still learning. He's going to stay in college where he belongs for one more year.
Yeah.
He better, anyways.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Ryan, thanks so much for joining us. It's always great having you on. I'm hoping that towards the end of the season we can have you on again as we talk about either a division title or a playoff preview.
Fingers
Thanks a
crossed.
lot.
All right. Thanks, boys.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Thanks, Ryan.
Bye.
All right. Thanks, Ryan, for coming on. Always with the great Patriots insight. Love to have it.
He's good.
Yeah, he's good. Fan favorite over here, having Ryan on. So that was a lot of Cowboys. That wasn't Cowboys talk. That was a lot of Patriots talk. But last night we had a wonderful live stream. We had you on, Nick, with Deshaun. Thanks, Deshaun, for jumping in when I was unavailable for a good Cowboys stream. The stream was good. The content was good. The game, well, it gave you the content.
Yeah, I guess it did. Yeah, I got no news for the Cowboys. Nothing recently happened. I don't know what I'm going to be talking about here.
No idea?
No idea. No idea. Except I do, actually. So weird world in Cowboy land right now. Okay, so we'll get to the game. Let's just get this over with first because we got to talk about it. But the Arizona Cardinals ended up beating the Dallas Cowboys last night, 27-17. By the way, the Arizona Cardinals, let's give them a little bit more credit than 2-5. Their point differential of losses so far is just 13 points.
They are the definition of a tough out.
Yeah, I think they're a tough team. Now, you should not lose by 10 points against the Arizona Cardinals. So the fact of the matter is it's still inexcusable that they did. The big talk around Dallas Cowboy land, of course, is the defense again. And me and Deshaun, if you watch the show during the live stream, all we were doing is complaining about our scheme, our defense. The one good side of it is we did get 5 sacks against Arizona Cardinals. I don't know if that's that big of a deal. We were able to get a lot of sacks against the Jets, so it can happen. But our defensive line actually looked really good, which kind of preludes to the trade talks here shortly. They played really well, didn't make a difference. Marvin Harrison Jr. just cooked Bland like no other. It was embarrassing.
He broke his ankles at one point.
It was like a basketball play go into the hoop, and he did outright break his ankles. And I got to tell you, Deron Bland did not look good out there. He's not really fitting well with the zone scheme just in general. But the thing about it is he had like one great year where he was able to get 5 pick sixes in one season, which is amazing. Not easy to do. And he's got the record as an NFL player to do that.
Yeah.
But the thing that I didn't like about Jerry is it's kind of fluky. Like, you got to be at the right spot at the right time. Picks, one thing, but pick sixes are just kind of fluky, and Jerry loved it and ended up paying him $92 million to make him a starting cornerback.
When they probably should have flipped him for maybe a second round or a first round draft pick.
Yeah, he would have gotten that money somewhere, and Jerry did not take advantage of possibly moving on from him and getting some money from him. So, Bland, if you are the shutdown corner, this is what you're expected to do. You're supposed to stop a Marvin Harrison Jr. or at least curtail him, but he did not. Marvin Harrison Jr. ended up getting 7 receptions, 96 yards, 1 touchdown. Felt like Marvin. That was a mean touchdown, man. Poor Deron Bland on that one. It was a bad play. Trey McBride, I've got your strategy, by the way. If you ever want to beat the Cowboys, one, you can run the ball, you can pass to anybody, but really specifically, if you want to attack us, you go through our linebackers because we have the worst linebacker core we used to in the NFL, and that's where you can get us all day. Trey McBride had 5 receptions, 55 yards, 1 touchdown, and tight ends have just been killing us all year. So that's a good fantasy note, too, for you guys out there. If you have a tight end against the Cowboys, go ahead and start them. It's probably going to work out for you.
That makes sense. So you're going to keep talking, but one thing I want you to start thinking about now, my key question for you that when we wrap the Cowboys segment, I want you to end on. Is the Cowboys defense better today than it was before they traded Micah?
Yeah, I think Oh, better today since Micah Parsons. I think it will.
And you can think on.
Yeah, I'll give you the answer after the trade talks. Yeah, we'll definitely talk during the trades. I've got a lot of opinions on it.
I'm excited to hear them.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. But defense sucks. We already knew that. That's not too shocking. The secondary was awful. Third down conversions was just terrible. Me and Deshaun, when we were watching the game, I think it was 3rd and 14 after a big sack. We called it. We were like, yeah, they're going to get the first down. Same exact coverage that I showed you in the last show that we cannot do anything about because we're just playing way too soft and they just pick us apart and get first downs. I want to see, and I looked it up and I cannot find the stats on it. Not just third down conversions. We're the worst in the league on that, at letting teams convert on third down, but third down conversions on distance. Like, what's our average distance? And I could not find a stat on it because I guarantee you we are dead last in the league. We have allowed the most 3rd and 14, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5s in the entire league. It is just ridiculous. It's not like 3rd and 1s and they're driving on us. It's 3rd and incredibly long, and we were allowing it all game. But you think the complaint's going to be about the defense, right? And a lot of social media is complaining about defense. I get it. The fact of the matter is the defense actually did a really good job in the fourth quarter. They did. They ended up stopping them. Brissett was struggling. We got 5 sacks. And by the end of it, they were not able to score. We were doing some weird things. We were doing corner blitzes. We were doing linebacker blitzes. We were actually changing up some little man-to-man, little zone. Eberflus actually brought some weird packages out there that I wasn't familiar with. Deshaun definitely wasn't familiar with. And we watch a lot of Cowboy football. So the defense goes out there, and what do the Cowboys do on offense? It's the fourth quarter. You can come back. They go punt, fumble, punt in the fourth quarter. You had 4 drives in the fourth quarter, and that's exactly what you did out there.
So this is 2 games in a row now of the Cowboys' vaunted best in the NFL offense not doing anything.
They only got a touchdown the entire game.
Yeah. Is it too much on Dak's shoulders? Are they too frustrated? Are they just, or is the problem being that because their defense is so bad, opposing teams can focus so much on working on their defense that they can stop them?
Well, Tony was bringing it up on the show that, and this is a really good point, that.
Thank you, Superfan Tony.
Yeah, thank you, Tony. Dak Prescott has a problem. He really does, because Tony Romo, Joe Flacco last game. I mean, he could keep up with you if the game turns out to be a shootout. He could keep up and always play. It seems like Dak, if he doesn't have his running game, if Javonte Williams, like the Green Bay Packers game, all throughout the game, because it was such a close scoring game, we were able to run Javonte Williams and mix it up. So we had a run and a pass, run and a pass, run and a pass. But if you put all the pressure on Dak Prescott, it's not going to turn out well. And
Williams did not have a good game.
No, Williams didn't have a good game, but that's when you want your $45 million quarterback to actually do something about it. And he just couldn't. And I get it. Javonte Williams fumbled the ball. You can't do much about that. But explain to me the punts. Explain to me the sacks. Explain to me all these things that, Dak, what could you have done a little bit better on that game? So he frustrated me over there. Dak, had a really bad game. He ended up 24 for 39. Again, we now know because they were down by so much, they had to throw it 39 times, 250 yards, whoop-de-doo, 1 touchdown, and unfortunately another interception that happened on this game. I'm not like what I'm seeing on both sides of the ball, and you could say that the defense is causing it, but I'll tell you one thing, if you're going to be relying on Dak to win you games, it just doesn't seem like that's going to be the case this year.
No, he needs a balanced offense. He can't do it all on his own, even with Pickens and CD. Honestly, I'm surprised Pickens is still a Cowboy right now, but Jerry's all in.
Jerry's all in, and speaking of which, Jerry was on with Stephen A. Smith, and by the way, if you guys don't know our thumbnail, it's going to be the Stephen A. I have to do it.
With Stephen A. and Jerry.
Just the rolling eyes looking at him. I have to get that thumbnail.
You gotta.
I know we had Patriot talk, but I saw that image, and I went immediately, I got to get that
acceptable. We'll accept it.
Yeah, just because it was so funny. But yeah, he was on Stephen A.'s show on Sirius XM, And he said it outright. He goes, when the talk gets a little quiet, I like to stir S up.
Yeah.
And boy, did that end up happening.
But he was so busy with the oil last week.
Yeah, I think he was just being. I think he's just being Jerry. I don't know what he's doing on that. But I moved on from that one. That one didn't really bother me that much.
I know it.
But the stir the S up came out clear as day because trade deadline came here, and he also announced, this is a smart move from a general manager, by the way. Hey, I got trades in the books. I already have them. We'll announce them tomorrow. When I guess we're doing handshake deals, but like, how do you know they're going to guarantee them?
So a lot of the rumors going on online when that happened was, one, did Jerry just get confused? He's old.
No.
Or two, were they contingent on a victory last night? But they didn't win, and the trades happened anyways. But the other one that I loved was, did Jerry also get confused? And did he think he was getting Hendrickson from the Bengals? And he thought he had won a lot of stuff that way.
I don't think he actually had Hendrickson. It looked like that got shot down. If you read about the Crosby deal, just seemed like the Raiders weren't going to budge on it. They wanted 2 first-round draft picks, and that would ruin the whole point of the Micah trade.
Yeah.
So why do that? Yeah, that's
they only gave up a little. They didn't give up. I will say they didn't give up all of their Micah capital.
No, not
they
at
gave
all.
up some of it.
Yeah, and so they go out and they go get. I mean, it started off with Logan Wilson from the Bengals, who, everyone's kind of laughing at. They traded a 7th-round draft pick, but seriously,
it's a 7th-round draft pick.
It's a 7th-round draft pick. He
For
might
a
not be the best.
plug-and-play starter, right?
Yeah. He is his name Murray by chance? Because if it's not Murray, then I'm okay with it. Just get someone out there on the field. Seriously, just to watch watchable football out there. And then he got Quentin Williams from the Jets, who defensive tackle, by the way, really good one. All right, he went to a lot of Pro Bowls, has had a really good career so far. It's a 7-year career, and I'm sure Rob's going to be preluding to this.
Yes.
But number one at stopping the run out of all defensive tackles out there. So that's exciting. We got that over there. Pair that with Kenny Clark. Pair that with Odigizua. That should improve our defense. And, average at stopping the pass, too, as well. He's mid-range at getting sacks and things like that. So we ended up trading one of our first, the 2027 first, 2026 second, and then we ended up trading, thank God, Mozzie Smith. I think we just decided, like, hey, whatever we agree on, we got to dump this guy. So please
the Jets took on 2 players that teams did not want at all.
Who will be cut immediately, I would imagine. Don't be shocked if Mozzie Smith gets cut, or if they just put him out there, just say, hey, maybe we found something, but I'm telling you.
I think they'll keep him for at least a week. And then the other guy, when we talk about the Colts, we'll talk about A.D. Mitchell, but I think because of how much the Jets receivers are struggling, I think Mitchell, he's going to miss the playoffs, he might be in a better home for him.
Yeah. So the big question, I know you've got some questions for me on this regard. So did the Cowboys win that trade? Did they do something really significant on the trade deadline?
So here's the thing. If I was a Cowboys homer, I would be excited. I'd be like, yes, we got this. We're not that far out of the playoffs. But here's what I see. Yes, you got rid of Mozzie Smith. My goodness, good job.
Mm-hmm.
But we pulled up, I was looking at it. ESPN, they immediately graded this trade as an F for the Cowboys and an A for the Jets. And the main reason behind that is that's a lot of important draft capital when you're probably going to be in the top half of the draft. I'm sorry, but the Cowboys probably are, which means, yes, I was wrong preseason. But remember, also preseason, I thought they'd keep Micah.
So did I.
And then Quentin Williams is really good, but he's already 7 years into the league.
Mm-hmm.
So he's already 28. Typically, defensive tackles, they don't age like quarterbacks age, which means you got this year, maybe next year.
And that's all we have him for, 2 years.
Yeah. And then you got to re-sign him.
Maybe.
Or let him go. And if you've only got him for 2 years, a first-round pick nets you, with the option, 5 years on a controlled deal.
Yeah.
A second-round pick opts you 4 years on a controlled deal.
Uh-huh.
So you gave up 2 players and 9 years of controlled money for 2 years of Quinnen Williams. When
What are we doing?
What are you doing? And I know you're a homer. I'm not trying to rain.
No.
The defense is better than it was yesterday. That's for sure.
You're
but
speaking
looking
logic.
at the standings, yes, only in the East, only the Eagles are ahead, but they're ahead by 3.5 games. And then the entire NFC North has a better record than you.
Mm-hmm.
You being the Cowboys, not you being Nick. And then, of course, the entire 3 of the 4 teams in the NFC West are ahead of you in the playoff standings.
Correct.
And then the team that's not is only half a game behind you because of that tie, and they just beat you. So they've got the head-to-head advantage in the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
What's Jerry doing?
So I will
9
answer,
for 2? 9 years for 2?
I will answer exactly what Jerry's doing because we're speaking like middle-aged men who are trying to just watch football and evaluate it and try to get this figured out as best as possible. What's best for our team?
Yeah.
Me and you, we can live. I mean, we should. God help us. but we should be able to live 5 years into the future, right? So if we pull that off, as long as nothing happens to us, God bless our health. But if as long as nothing happens to us, then yeah, we could definitely talk about these 5-year contracts and things like that for people like us who are just good fans who are homers and they just want the best for their team. And I agree. I actually agree. That is just logical. That's exactly what we need to do. A lot of people are accusing Jerry of he's making a splash because of that comment that he made at Stephen A. Smith's show. He just wants to stir us up. I disagree with that take.
Yes, he does.
I actually disagree with that. I think he does like to stir us up. He likes to be in the news. This has nothing to do with it. He realized really quickly, and I agree with him, that Micah Parsons being on the team in the beginning of the year, by the way, I disagree with trading Micah Parsons to the you should have just signed him much, much earlier and he would have been cheaper, but Jerry didn't do that. He put himself into a corner.
Especially when it's clear that Micah wanted to go nowhere.
Yeah, so I want that for the record. They screwed up the Micah deal. I'm not a pro Jerry did everything right on the Micah deal. But when you are in that corner, you are in a bad position. You are like, now you have to pay him. Your team's really not that good, even with Micah. You got to start making a decision. Can I sign him? Am I able to get free agents? Am I able to do things? Am I able to be flexible to improve this team with Micah Parsons on it? And the answer, in my conclusion, was no. But at the same time, I was like, well, you're kind of out of options this year. You got to pay him. So as a fan, I wanted them to pay him. As a general manager, he said, we are going to have to rebuild. But we're not going to rebuild 10 years or 5 years from now, kind of like the Miami Dolphins did in 2017, where you just go get your draft picks, or what the Jets are doing now. Go get all your draft picks, see you in 4 years, and we're going to be back to being relevant. He needed that relevancy quickly.
But if he needed that relevancy quickly, and I get that he does, we all know how old he is. We all know that he loves his Johnny Blue. We just know this. Sign Micah and just blow through everything, trade all your picks, get everyone to show up and be a Cowboy on defense, and then it's your kid's problem when you die to figure the rest of the stuff out, and go win yourself a Super Bowl this year, because that offense can win a Super Bowl. So keep Micah, sign him, trade every draft pick you're allowed to trade, and bring in a Trey Hendrickson, bring in all the other guys, and then go for it.
Yeah. Now, I don't know, but they were so up against the cap. If they would have signed him, they could not get these players without losing a lot of.
Then call the Rams. Call Sean McVay.
So how do you do it?
And say, let me talk to your cap guy. It'll be great. We'll play for the NFC Championship. Just let me talk to your cap guy.
Yeah.
Because there's a way to do it.
Yeah.
The Rams did it, and they won a Super Bowl with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But Jerry just, I don't know, he runs a weird game. He doesn't want to do that right now. So he got himself in the position. He's like, I know I need to improve the team. I'm going to go ahead and start trying to improve quickly. If you ask me about the trade deal, overall, it's just kind of a mess. I wouldn't give it an F. I don't think it's that bad of a trade. I don't know what ESPN's thinking, but there's a flexibility still in the Cowboys' pocket. the fact of the matter is we traded Micah Parsons for Kenny Clark, and Quentin Williams, and then I would add Wilson in that deal.
Wilson as well, yeah.
All for a first-round draft pick and Kenny Clark. That's not that bad. That's actually
in a second.
In a second, yeah. So no, we traded away a second. We ended up getting just
an
extra first, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
So overall, I don't think it's the worst move out there. I think the Cowboys are just doing what is part of the game plan. It's just going to be trying to do a short rebuild. I think we're going to be relevant in 2026. I don't think we're going to be relevant right now. I don't think this is enough to get this defense to anything. They're not going to be the 85 Bears. I think they're going to be better. I don't know, 25th ranked instead of 30th. I don't like Eberflus's scheme, so I don't think that's going to work.
Yeah, so say Jerry walks in, holds a gun to Eberflus's head and says, "Stop with the zone crap." Is this defense better than it was September 1st, and can they go out and get a 7 seed?
September 1st, I think this team could possibly get the 7 seed, but you'd have to change the scheme. The biggest problem with the scheme is not even the scheme itself. It looks like the players are just quitting on it. The secondary just is lost. They're just accepting touchdowns.
Who's number 25? I don't know, but I just see him getting lost, and it looks like he just wants to like throw his hands in his helmet in the air and walk off the field every time he's zoomed in on.
Yeah, it's not just him. James, who's young, so he's a linebacker, but I don't like him. I don't like Murray. But James maybe can improve over time. Elam looks like he's a loss out there, and I think he's a respectable corner. Bland's even a respectable corner, and they're all just getting cooked, lost. They don't know where to be, and I just think the scheme is just killing this team. And I don't think having a great defensive line, what you saw that Monday night game is what we can do now with our defensive line, and that's still going to happen. They're still going to get those certain 14s because the secondary doesn't. They give up the ball within 3 seconds. If you cannot hold them for 3 seconds, your defense is nada. And I'm a big believer in build the line first. But if your secondary is that bad, you got to do something. Now, Overshown's coming back.
I'm so excited for that. As a Texas fan, I can't wait. If he can come back and stay healthy for more than a game, wow, you guys
should be in good shape. Wilson is now going to replace Murray, I would hope. And then we've got some problems with James and LaFleur. But whatever the case may be, we can make a decision on those. I would go LaFleur than James. We can improve. Donovan Wilson's on his way back to. Malik Hooker is going to be back to. This defense should be respectable, but I've been saying that for all year long anyway, that the talent should have been there to be okay. Like top of the 2/3 bad defense, like you should be somewhere around there. And they're just like a 22nd ranked defense, and we're just not. I think with the big additions that we had, we're going to improve a little. We're going to get our team to that 8-1 team. We're going to beat a good team here. I do promise that. Like, I don't know if it's going to be the Eagles, Kansas City, or something. We're going to shock the world. We're going to win a weird game, and everyone's going to be like, "Ooh, wow, they could actually compete." And then we're going to lose to someone like Arizona again. So it's just a train wreck of a year, but the game plan is not about this year. It's going to be about next year and the year after that. And don't be surprised, we're going to still be relevant in 2026 or 2027. It will improve, but it's probably not going to be a world beater. It's not going to be a Super Bowl winning team. It's just going to be better, and Jerry's going to be happy with it because we're back to the news again.
Well, the Cowboys are always going to be in the news as long as they're in Dallas and Jerry's alive.
Jerry.
Let's be honest. So, defense is better, but until they get rid of Eberflus, there's nothing they can do. Would you, if you were Jerry, would you just quietly call Rex Ryan and say, $10 million right now, come take over?
I'm not thinking this season. I'm not thinking during this season.
Yeah, because during the season it's a mess. But that would be the ultimate Cowboys move.
Yeah, but I think in the offseason, get ready for this. And I'm going to go ahead and predict this now. We're going to go ham on free agency. We're going to have the ability to do it. And I think we're going to go get Rex Ryan probably or someone like that as a defensive coordinator.
Or hear me out. Jerry wants a Super Bowl, right?
Going to get Bill Belichick.
As defensive coordinator.
I don't think Belichick will do it. You think he's going to work well with Shoddy?
If he doesn't have to glad hand 17 and 18-year-olds, and all he has to do is coach football. He doesn't have to be in social media, so his girlfriend can go take a back seat and get out of his hair. And he just has to coach football. Then he can redeem his legacy.
Yeah.
Because Jerry will spin it how he wants to, but the world will know Bill Belichick saved Jerry Jones.
That's the problem. He won't allow that. Jerry wants to be the hero, and so if he wants a Shoddy Super Bowl. Which, by the way, I have a lot.
Oh no,
of
Shoddy would be the head coach. Bill would just be the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, right.
Just a defensive coordinator.
Yeah. You can find defensive coordinators out there. They're out there, though. A lot of people want that job.
Well, you got one. His name's Eberflus.
Yeah, not that one. Anybody else? But yeah, I know we're digressing a little long. It's a big trade deal. There's a lot to say about that game, but similar to 2018, big trade. Who knows? Maybe we can turn it around, make it to the playoffs. A lot of people counted us out. I was one of them when we were 3-5 in 2018 when we traded for Amari Cooper. So I'm just thinking the same thing. I'm going, well, maybe, but yeah. I'm not getting my hopes up on it because, as you've seen in the live broadcast, my health can't afford that. So I'm just going to go ahead and accept my fate and just say the Cowboys are not going to do anything.
Fair enough. All right, so that was the Cowboys. I know y'all, we have a big audience from Miami and Buffalo and all of those other division games. We're going to go through the rest of the division fairly quickly for both divisions on the East. We're probably going to spend about a minute or so on each one. A little bit more on the Jets. The Jets honestly won the week by not playing.
Yeah, they really did.
But first, we're gonna wrap Eastside news with the Jets to transition to what's going on with the Colts. But we'll talk quickly about the Dolphins, who were the most perplexing team of the week. They got destroyed by Lamar Jackson and company. Lamar Jackson is back. He's ready to lead teams to fantasy football and playoff glory, specifically my team in our Dynasty League. And they just absolutely trounced the Dolphins, 28-6. It didn't even feel that close. But then you think, okay, the Dolphins are 2-7. They've fired their general manager, so they're done with that. I know they fired the general manager, but someone's still making plays. Let's unload these players. Let's unload Bradley Chubb. Let's unload A-Chain. Let's unload Jalen Waddle. Let's bring in all this draft capital and get ready to really go for it.
Yeah, something like that.
They did nothing.
Nothing.
So that makes me wonder, are they just saying this is a weird fluke year, and is McDaniels actually not going to get fired, and are they going to run this back next year? What do you think?
I think they're going to fire McDaniel pretty quickly. They're going to try to get a head coach in and try to change it up. Now, they did trade Phillips for a third-round draft pick. I don't know. Sorry, I was.
Oh yeah. They had a minor trade.
Minor trade. A good pass rusher going to the Eagles. Thanks. The one trade you had to do.
Smart move by the Eagles.
Smart move by the Eagles, and Miami did just decide to get that. But my theory with the Miami Dolphins, like we've heard time and time again, is I think they're loaded with talent. They just need a new coach at this point, and that should make a difference. Tyreek Hill's probably going to go though. I think he might already be done.
I think Tyreek Hill is most likely played his last. He's definitely played his last Dolphins game. He's probably played his last game in the NFL. He might have a brief comeback a la Odell Beckham, but he's not gonna. He's done.
I think he's done. Yeah, and I think it's going to be real sad too because I really like Tyreek Hill. But my prediction: Miami Dolphins. They're just gonna fire McDaniel, get a new coach in there, and see if they could change it up. They're a train wreck right now, though, Rob. They're not looking too good.
They are. I'm curious who they bring in as general manager. I really am. If this was a year ago, I think Bill Belichick would be in Miami already. But clearly, he has taken a torch to his legacy. Well, not his legacy. That's wrong. He's
No,
taken a
but-
torch to anyone wanting to be within 1,000 feet of him running a football program.
America, we lost Belichick. I just want that understood. We
Yeah.
lost him. I
I-
don't know where he is now, but
Yeah,
this is
I
not Belichick
blame
know.
Jordan Hudson and ESPN.
Yeah,
I blame them both. But so I'm curious to see who they bring in and then who they hire. I'm really curious who they're gonna bring in to take over as head coach next year. We're gonna have a lot of fun talking about that
Mhm.
in the offseason. But anyways, that's the Dolphins. Enough about them. They lost a lot this week. Let's talk about the Giants.
Yeah, we got the Giants going against the 49ers, and the 49ers whooped that ass against the Giants 34-24. Just a, I don't know. The 49ers look like they're just starting to get it in gear and start playing well. And they're doing it with Mac Jones, your guy, too, who finished 19 for 24, 235 yards and 2 touchdowns.
So you're saying if Mac Jones has an offensive coordinator that's not actually a defensive coordinator, Matt Patricia, he might not be broken and can play okay?
There's a couple places you could play where if you've got an arm strength and have some sort of talent like Mac Jones, 49ers are one of them, right? Because Kyle Shanahan can coach him up to get a quarterback going.
Oh, for sure.
Make that argument with Minnesota.
That being
Matt Patricia, not so much.
That being said, thank you, Bill Belichick, for doing that idiotic thing to try to save money when you didn't need to and bring in your boy Patricia to coach offense because that got us Drake May.
Yeah.
And Vrabel.
Yeah, and I think it worked out much better for you guys because I think I'm still skeptical of Mac Jones, but he had a really good game there. The Giants have a terrible. I've been saying they have a good defense. They don't have a good defense. It's starting to come to light that maybe if you could score on them, maybe they're not good.
Yeah, and they don't have Scattaboo anymore.
I think, and I think that's the heart of their team. And I'm serious. Like I think since they lost Scattaboo, they just lost that oomph.
Yeah, he's apparently he's still hanging around, but yeah, he's not on the sideline. He's not throwing his helmeted head into things he shouldn't. So that makes it tough. Is this another coaching job that you see open up?
Oh yeah, Dayball's getting fired. I would fire him just to save Jackson Dart because Jackson Dart looked really good, 24 for 33, 191 yards. He doesn't get that many yards every game. I've noticed that about him. But he's accurate, and that's good. And then he gets 2 touchdowns, and he's exciting to watch.
Yeah, he doesn't have a deep threat yet.
Yeah, he doesn't have a deep threat.
Oh,
but
and he's got neighbors, but if all he's got is neighbors.
Well, Wendell Robinson's pretty good too, but yeah, overall he doesn't have that many weapons. He doesn't have an offensive line that's coherent either. So Jackson Dart is saving. If Dayball keeps his job, it's because of Jackson Dart, and if Jackson Dart loses more games, it's not Jackson Dart's fault. He looks really good. I actually like this quarterback a lot. There's a little weird things that I'm not a big fan of as a rookie, but that comes with time. You know, he'll get better at that. Dayball is a disservice to him, I think, in my opinion, and he needs to go. And you need to get, I'd say McDaniel. That's what I'm kind of heading towards.
That makes sense to
the
me.
Giants, but yeah, they're a little bit of a train wreck. The Giants lose to the 49ers, and another loss for the Giants. The NFC East is not looking too good outside of one team, and we're about to get to them.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, but real quick, we'll talk about probably still one of the front runners. They still could come back and steal this division from the Patriots. The Buffalo Bills. Yes, they won probably I would say the game of the week this week. The Steelers Colts game ended up getting interesting late, but overall game of the week I would say Bills Chiefs. Good job, Bills. You took down the Chiefs. As a Pats fan, I just wanted a way for everyone to lose somehow, but that couldn't happen. So this was, to me, the lesser of two evils for now. But also, I'm going to say this, Buffalo fans, this doesn't matter. You always beat the Chiefs in the regular season. You can always beat them at home in the regular season.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter till January. So good job. You did what you're supposed to do. Prove it when it matters in January.
Yeah. It was a big game, though. I mean, the Bills find a way to win it again. They're going to probably find a way to lose it in January, like you said. So it's just so weird how they play against them. Who did the Commanders is the next team, and man, I was excited about when the Cowboys beat the Commanders, but
Commanders are done. Dan Quinn might be done after this season too. I don't think he should be. I think he should get another year.
Yeah. I will say this though. Seattle's a really good team. They are not a joke.
There's like 4 6-2 teams in the NFC right now.
Yeah, but I think Seattle's legit. They really remind me of the Minnesota's scheme and the 49ers scheme, where they just have a crisp, very sexy offense. Like it's just
and they have a defense.
Yeah, and that defense is lights out good. So Sam Darnold, as long as he doesn't throw interceptions, I think Seattle's going to do really well. But the fact of the matter is, we thought the Commanders should have been competing against these kind of teams, right?
Not this year. This is their take. I think they were ahead of schedule last year, and they weren't as deep as they needed to be. They didn't get that depth this year, and we're seeing it.
Yeah, and they traded a lot last season. They went all in last season, and this is the price that you pay. You're top heavy now. You get a couple of injuries, and you're in some trouble.
Hint, hint, Colts.
Yeah, so watch out for it, Colts. But Jaden Daniels, that's the big one. His left elbow ended up getting hyperextended.
I watched that live. I was like, oh, and Megan looked up and was like, what happened? I'm like, they're not going to show that replay again, but
it was bad.
Best case scenario is he only hyperextended his elbow.
Yeah, the only way you can watch it now is through Reddit or X at that point.
It was bad. You don't need to look it up. When an elbow is facing the opposite direction, that's not good. Now, even Quinn came out and said he shouldn't have been in the game, but Jaden Daniels, it's been widely reported, he is one of those like a Tom Brady. He doesn't ever want to come out of the game. He's not gonna let you, and he'll keep running out onto the field. And his thing is, and he said it before, is and we all know why he's so valuable, but he's like, if I'm healthy, why are you saying I should sit down so someone else can potentially get hurt instead of me?
That's a good point.
And on top of that, he's been out hurt for a while. So from a coaching perspective, like, hey, let's try to get some stuff going at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Let's build towards things, because you can only build so much in practice, right? So I don't fault it. We only get mad when the player gets injured. And last I checked, it's football.
Yeah, it was the same argument I made with the CD Lamb thing.
Yeah.
You know, it just happens, guys. It's just, weird plays happen. It's going to happen all game long. The big problem with the Commanders isn't just Jaden Daniels, though. Their pass defense is just god-awful. 21 for 24, Sam Darnold went off, 330 yards, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception. They've got problems. And this is Dan Quinn year 2 problems. And it just seems like it's pretty consistent with him that the first year he hits the scene, and the second year they start losing the room. They're passing, they're running on him. There's really nothing you could do. Commanders.
Is Quinn calling all the defense?
I believe so. I do. But no. He's got a coordinator. Actually, that's a good question. I shouldn't.
Because I wonder. Obviously, he's a defensive guy, but I wonder if it's sort of like, as a Texas fan, we're all like, "Oh my goodness, Sark, hire an offensive coordinator and do everything else so well that you do, and let someone else focus on offense." I wonder if it's sort of that sort of issue with Dan.
Oh, it's actually so Joe Wilt Jr. is like a Dan Quinn protege. He was actually projected when Dan Quinn left that he could have been the defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry didn't hire him. I think
Jerry made a mistake.
Yeah, I think Jerry did make a mistake because the players love Joe Wilt. So I believe he's the play caller, though, for the looks like it. But pretty much it's just Dan Quinn, though. I always get those two. They're both meatheads. They wear hats.
Yeah. They wear them backwards all the time.
Yeah. It's hard to keep up with them, and they're both named Dan.
Yeah.
But play calling duties is essentially his guy, though. Like that's his team. That's Dan Quinn really running the defense. Joe Witt is just learning from Dan Quinn, but Commanders are in some trouble. They're not looking too good, and I don't know how far they're going to go this year.
I did call it when we did our playoff preview about 3 weeks ago now, when we were at the quarter pole. I said the Commanders weren't making the playoffs.
And I still stand on that. Jaden Daniels is a really good quarterback who can take you really far. The
Yeah.
problem is, though, you're putting a sophomore in way too many holes with this defense. He's not going to be able to dig out yet.
And I
He's
know
not there yet.
he should be back in like 3 or 4 weeks, probably maybe 5. Keep him out the whole season. Let him get healthy. Just let him get healthy. Let him keep. I mean, he's gonna come back and play because he's their guy, but set him up for success for next year. Figure it out because you've got someone special. Don't blow it.
Yeah, definitely don't blow it. Yeah, and Mariota's probably going to get a win or two just because he's
but
weird. He's just a weird guy. I like
Yeah.
Mariota, but man, he frustrates me.
yeah,
So,
that's the Commanders. But we got another team. Let's talk about that last team in the NFC East that we haven't discussed yet because it makes sense to segue Jets to Colts.
okay, you want to go straight into the Colts or?
Now I was gonna say we got Eagles to talk about, don't we?
Oh no, they're on bye week.
They're on bye week, and they picked up a depth piece.
Phillips from yeah. In case you guys don't know, I don't like the Eagles at all, so like I struggle.
Fair
with
enough.
it.
Fair
But it
enough.
was a big trade. They ended up trading a 3rd round draft pick. It was a good move. That's what made me so mad. They picked up Phillips from Miami. Good little pass rusher. I think he's just going to be a solid piece added to it. Eagles made a smart move again. So we got that general manager on that side while I'm stuck with Jerry talking to Stephen A about trades before we even make them. So
Yeah.
Eagles are going to be in good shape. And they got a big game ahead of them next
Yep.
week. But
Awesome. And so quickly with the Jets, they did have the bye week, but they made some good moves. We've already talked about the Quinnen Williams deal. Yeah, they got Mozzie Smith, but they got a second-round pick this year that's probably going to be in the top half of the second round, and they have a 2027 first-round pick as well. So that they're sitting there and they're starting to – they know the season's lost. They're building assets, and you thought they got a good haul from the Cowboys. Well, my goodness. The Colts, for Sauce Gardner, they gave up 2 first-round picks, a 2026 first-round pick. So that gets the Jets, without me looking at what else they already had, they have 2 picks in the first round, 2 picks in the second round. So
that's
that'll
2026.
that's this year.
Yeah.
So that allows them to either go chase someone they really want, which they shouldn't do that for a quarterback, not in this year's class. Don't do it. Or that lets them build up a lot of depth. Spend all 4 of those picks on OL and DL line,
Absolutely.
offensive line, defensive line. Build up your core with 4 high-quality picks there. And then we've got Aaron Glenn building towards success.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was a sick move in 2026. That's just 2 first-round draft picks.
Yeah.
You got 3 heading into 2027 with the
Yep.
Quentin Williams trade.
Right. And that quarterback class is looking like it could be even better. So depending on where you finish and who you've got running the show at that point, you can take 2 of those picks and get yourself into the top 5 of the draft.
Yeah, and Ryan nailed it. You guys have a good position, Jets. Don't jet this up.
Don't jet it up. And you even got from the Colts, you got their cast-off Adonai Mitchell, famous for that game against the Rams that the Colts should have won, for deciding he didn't try to drop the ball or celebrate early. He just tried to shift it for some reason when he had control of it. I think he overthought accidentally dropping it, and that led him to do exactly what he didn't want to do. And then he later had, if that wasn't bad enough to turn the ball over and take the point off the board, he then had a pass interference call or something like that. I forget the exact call that then actually cost them the game. He's been in the doghouse ever since. He hasn't even been getting into the game. So the Jets get him. But let me tell you, he's a lifetime Longhorn. The dude can ball.
Yeah.
So good. Yes. Will Mitchell not make the playoffs this year? He will not. But I think he is set up for success. He's a redemption story. The Jets are a redemption team. He's got a chance now.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe there's some bad things happening in the locker room. That's part of the reason why they're losing. And, maybe the change of blood, even if it's lesser talent, might actually get them a couple wins. But I expect a first overall pick from the Jets. That's my prediction.
They certainly could get there. And then if they're real smart, and I think, again, if you don't have a quarterback that you really want, this is what you should do. Go out and sign Mac Jones for 2 years.
Yeah.
You know,
they could have done that.
And then you take that number 1 pick trade down for someone that's dumb and wants a
Go get
quarterback
Russell
that's not that
Wilson.
good.
Go get weird.
Yeah, and then turn that first round, that number 1 overall pick into 3 or 4 more picks, and just infuse this team with youth.
Yeah. It doesn't. I'm a big believer in do not all of a sudden start losing just to lose. Like, it's terrible, especially for a new coach, to build that losing culture. So you got to turn it around somewhat quickly.
Yeah.
And next year I would go get somebody, somebody, an average quarterback out there.
The Jets are going to be the most intriguing team in this draft, which is awesome. But the Colts, their secondaries needed help. It's been a struggle. We saw that this week in the loss. They went and they picked up Sauce Gardner. What's going on with the Colts?
What?
What's going on with the Colts? What's going on with the Colts? What's going on with the Colts? Is it go blue? Let's ride. Or lucky shoe? Who knows? Who knows? What's going on with the Colts?
All right, what is going on with those Colts? We're going to talk about the trade, but first let's talk about that game. They got themselves a loss against the Steelers, only by 7 points in Pittsburgh. That's always a tough place to play. But that being said, going into halftime, it was 17-7 Pittsburgh, and it stayed that way into the fourth quarter. The Colts fought back, but it was too little, too late. Danny Dimes had a Danny Dimes special. He is completely out of the MVP race now. Sorry, folks. He's going to have to do a lot to get back into it. He did have 342 passing yards. He was 31 for 50. He had a touchdown, but he had 3 interceptions.
We've been waiting for this since week 1.
We knew it was coming. And then you couple that with the fact that they could not run on the Steelers. Jonathan Taylor with a whopping 45 yards. The fact that they only lost by 7 is impressive, and it speaks to the fact that the Steelers still aren't a lock to win their own division.
Yeah, and well, I mean, they've got their own problems right now with the Ravens, I guess, breathing down their neck soon.
You've got a healthy Lamar Jackson, and they're now only 2 games back of the Steelers.
And both of those teams are just going to beat up on the Browns and
the
Bengals.
So it's,
well, I don't know. The Bengals are weird.
Right now, I mean, the Ravens have left themselves no margin for error. They can maybe lose one more game, maybe if at most, to cleanly win this division. But
well, we predicted it in the show too that it's just Mike Tomlin's not going to let this team lose 3 games in a row. He's just not going to allow it. He was going to get them geared up, coached up, ready to go against the Colts. And he watched a lot of tape, I would imagine, and just said, yeah, we can get him. And they ended up getting him big time because Daniels, a lot of weird yardage there. I guess that happens when you throw a lot of picks.
But also, he threw a lot of picks, but also I didn't mention the fumbles.
Yeah.
3 of those, they lost 2 of them. So that's 5 turnovers just for Daniel Jones. The fact that they only lost this by a touchdown is shocking.
I mean, they're a good team. They're a really good team. One of their weakest areas, though, happens to be in the pass defense. I found out they were ranked top 10 worst, and that could just be because of trash yards, because they've been beating so many teams by so much that they're able to get a lot of yards.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers he only threw for 203 yards, but he didn't have a pick. He was only sacked 3 times. He had a QBR of 60. He got that touchdown. He was able to be precise.
Yeah. Classic Aaron Rodgers,
So the Colts need someone like Sauce Gardner.
And they decided to go. We're going right into it. Forget the game. They lost the game. Okay.
Yeah, that we went through the highlights. The fact that they got that close is shocking.
It's a respectable
Daniel
game.
Jones lost them the game.
Yeah, and it's a respectable game. You just lose. I think the Colts are still in really good shape. They're even in better shape now because of the trade. But that's not an easy win overall when you're going against the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Pittsburgh Steelers after 2 losses in a row. I just, it's going to be tough, and we both predicted it. The Pittsburgh Steelers were going to win that game. So them losing only by 7, especially after all the junk that Danny Dimes did out there, not surprising. But their response at the trade deadline, I mean, we only got him for a year, Rob, so this is good for us. We're okay.
Yeah. The Colts are probably not going to be our random team of the pod next year. I think probably they officially won't be eligible to be picked because we'll look to pick a new team. But my goodness, did they mortgage? Is the AFC wide open? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
As the AFC stands today, could the Colts make the Super Bowl? Sure. They're not winning. I love the Colts. I've loved them my whole lifetime of the last 2 months that we've been having them as a team. They can't win the Super Bowl. The Seahawks would beat them by 45.
Yeah, I think so, actually. Well, I don't know. They're both weird teams. They got washed up quarterbacks that end up turning
30.
it around.
They'd beat them by 30. Darnold, right now, if I had to cast a vote, Darnold is number 1 in my MVP.
Yeah, he's really good. He's having a really good season out there. But
the Colts gave up too much.
Yeah. The good news is like I said, we got him for a year, Rob. We're in good shape. This is okay.
We're all in. We're all in and out.
Yeah.
All in and out. Well, until they match up against the Pats in the playoffs, and then Nick can cheer for the Colts. I certainly will not be cheering for the Colts. Let's go, Pats. Let's do your thing.
I like the tenacity. I disagree. I think that's way too much for your future. You could have gotten more young talent over there. Their defense is not that great, and then
something tells me they outbid. I think this is one of those they outbid themselves situations.
I think they just wanted them.
I think they could have gotten them for one of those first-round picks.
Yeah, and they didn't want to sit down and negotiate back and forth, and then they were finally.
I think because I guarantee maybe some other teams called about Sauce, but he hasn't exactly been having an amazing year.
Yeah, and
he's good, and he'll be better than he was on the Jets with the Colts. I think that, but he just signed that massive extension. I don't think they were in a bidding war with anyone else. I think they probably could have done a first and a third.
That's
or a first and Adonai Mitchell.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like a first and a third is not too bad. You just eat it for one.
Or
one
a
year.
second and a fourth.
Yeah, well, you're giving up for Sauce Gardner. You're giving up a first.
But you try. You try.
Yeah. You like you said, you just eat it the first year, 2026, and then you just basically go on and I unless it's a pass rusher or a quarterback, I do not sign off on signing or trading away 2 first-round draft picks.
Yeah.
Period. End of story. Because
even then, it doesn't usually work out for the team that gave up the draft picks.
Yeah, no. Usually
Jerry will
does.
tell you all about that.
Yeah. Like it just doesn't. It's not a good play overall. It's just not how I would do it. You can give up 1. I don't see a problem with that. You just eat it for a year and then you start rebuilding your year.
Fine.
But 2 was shocking.
For a team that, again, I love the Colts for my whole 2-month lifetime since they landed on this wheel. If the Chiefs are going into Indianapolis, I'm picking the Chiefs.
I would, no, when it comes to playoff time, I mean, I just don't trust Danny Dimes. That's all it is.
That's the thing. If you put Sam Darnold on this team, maybe even Geno Smith, Mac Jones,
give me someone else. And I know we probably got him so squared away in our little pocket.
Anthony Richardson?
No,
not Anthony Richardson.
No, Danny Dimes won the job, and he deserved the job. And
we were very wrong about that preseason. But if he has another 1 or 2 of these, like he had this week against a playoff team,
start questioning.
That's a problem.
Yeah, but I think he runs a pretty solid offense. As long as Jonathan Taylor goes off, I just don't think he's going to be the quarterback that takes you to the win.
But Taylor couldn't go off because...
Who knows? Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. It can't happen.
No, they canceled the Super Bowl that year. It didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about.
No one wins in my
It's
book.
crazy that there were 2 years that the Pats were supposed to play in the Super Bowl and they just canceled it.
Yeah,
I just don't understand that
no.
one, and then that one against that plucky Giants team that we would have destroyed. I don't understand.
Yeah, you can't handle the tough ones. You can't handle the plucky ones. But,
We got 6. I'm okay.
yeah. I think you're doing fine. But yeah, it's just really strange. I'm blown away at what the Colts are doing. I say for the podcast, Nick and Rob, we approve. Go all in. Do whatever you got to do to have a good team.
So
this
that
year.
way you can get to the AFC title game, go to Foxborough, and get boat raced.
And speaking of which, 8:30 in the morning, right? Sunday.
This Sunday, I don't think I will be available for it.
Gotcha.
But we might, Nick, if Nick's able to, and Nick's able to get a friend, we might be having coffee and a saucer. And
Producing on the fly here.
Yeah, we might see what we can do. I believe I'm out of town. So
Dang.
with a last minute change. But our next official live stream will be we might have it this Sunday, but then a week from this Thursday when the Patriots are playing on Thursday Night Football, we will be on live for that.
Yes, yeah. We're trying to get a Colts game in there, but we'll
We'll get one in
worked
there.
out.
We'll get one.
Yeah, but either way, I just think the Colts are just looking, go all in. Let's do it. I mean, while you're with us, go all in. We won't worry about you guys next year. Sorry.
I'm still having a hard time though because the division's won.
I think so. Yeah,
So you already got
you
your
got to get home
game.
field advantage.
I know you got to go. You're probably
You get the second seed, and then
you're
get home
probably
field.
going to get the home field advantage because at this point in the AFC, well, no,
There's
it's
a lot of weird stuff happening.
Denver
there.
could get it.
Yeah, Denver's really good.
New
right now.
England could stumble into it because they've got the easiest schedule of those 3 teams.
It-
And if Buffalo doesn't lose again, they're going to have it.
Yeah, and the Colts have an easy schedule because they didn't finish well last year.
Yeah, and the
So-
Chargers lost Joe Alton, but they did just trade for another offensive lineman. So if they can plug that guy in,
I mean,
okay. So they're it's a wide. I don't know.
I
don't
disagree with
know.
if I was a diehard Colts fan that follows them all the time, I would disagree with this trade wholeheartedly. I don't know what they're
Yeah.
doing. I think it's way too much for the
Yep.
beginning of this thing. You can get a lot for them, but for
Yeah.
us,
Yeah, for
Let's
us,
do it.
Yeah, and this I think this will motivate Sauce because he's going to be going from a nothing team to a team that will be in the playoffs, might have a bye.
the pressure is going to be on, and it's going to
Yeah.
start very shortly here too. So
Immediately.
yeah, so good luck, buddy. He's a good player, but we'll see how it works out. But Rob, are you ready for some picks?
Yeah, let's make some picks. I've got the schedule up for next week.
All right.
Making picks with Nick and Rob. Nick and Rob. The pick might be a hatchet job. Less reliable than a cone on the cob, but I love hearing picks from Nick and Rob.
Yes, it's picks with Nick and Rob, and I've let the fans down again. I do not have that sheet ready.
I've got it ready. I
Okay.
got you. I got you. So we're gonna go in order of how they're listed on the NFL schedule, and that means bright and early, 8:30 a.m. Sunday morning. We've got over in Germany. We are in Germany. We aren't in
Berlin.
London. We're in Germany. So hopefully we'll have a bunch of hungover players 'cause they went and they found the good beer. We've got the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are the official home team. The Colts are favored by 6.5.
Okay.
I mean,
don't know how
I
they're getting
get
that.
it, but also the Falcons are scary.
Yeah, I don't talk about a lot of factors that go into it. So let me get this straight. They're going to go over to Berlin. They're going to have to play that game. They're going to have the jet lag. Both teams are going to have that jet lag. And then combine the fact, because we're rooting on the Colts, right?
Mm-hmm.
Combine the fact that they're playing against the Atlanta Falcons, which is already just a weird, bizarre Jekyll and Hyde team. I love that description that you put of
Mhm.
them because it's so accurate. I don't know what to think on this game. Like, how are the Colts, like, how are you supposed to predict it? I feel bad either way, whatever I decide.
Falcons.
You're going to go with the Falcons? They're going to get a little bounce back?
Yeah, the Falcons. I'm gonna go with them. Honestly, they probably should have won the game against the Patriots.
Right.
The Patriots had better coaching.
Yeah.
And a team that was ready to dig a little deeper and hang on. I think this is one of those things, especially, it just feels like the story writes itself.
Right.
The Colts are like, we got this. This is going to be our year. We're going all in. We're not worried about, we're going to pull a Rams, screw those draft picks. And then they're immediately going to lose to a team like the Falcons, who play everyone tough, unless they're the Panthers. Only
the Rams have had that work, by the way.
Exactly. Only the Rams have had it work. And I think all of a sudden the Colts are going to blow this game, and they're going to start hearing some voices right away. People going, what in the world were they doing?
They went from, we didn't expect them to do well, to, you better win now.
Yeah.
And
I think the Falcons, Penix was starting to look pretty good against the Pats. He's healthy again.
Big fan of Penix. Yeah.
And Penix has so many weapons.
Drake London is a beast out there too.
And you've got Bijan Robinson going to Germany, and you know how Bijan Robinson makes a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
He has a mustard.
A mustard?
Yeah, Bijan Mustardson.
Ah.
And he sells that mustard. It's very popular here in
Works
Texas.
well in Germany
but
too.
Yeah, Germany. I think he's gonna make sure he's gonna show off. I bet you he pops a shirt at some point after a touchdown or something. Because mustard goes great with German food.
Yeah.
So I think Bijan's going to see this as a business opportunity for him, and I think the Falcons win.
I say it's going to be a distraction, and the Colts are going to win mainly because I'm going to make the show a little interesting. I'm just going to pick the Colts.
That's fair enough.
If I get that wrong, no, I wouldn't be shocked. I don't know what to pick on that one. There's a lot of weird factors there. Good luck, Vegas. I hope you figured that out, because that one's going to be tough. But the next game, is it the Cowboys and Raiders, or?
That would be no. The Cowboys don't play this week, sir. It's a bye week for the Cowboys.
Oh man, we never had that problem. Okay.
So yeah.
Right.
So the other game that we have is going to be
Thank
Sunday
God.
at noon. Sunday at noon. The Patriots do what all good New Englanders do once they retire. They're going to head to Florida to take on Tampa Bay. And this, to me, this should be the game of the week.
Absolutely.
Looking at everything else that, Philly, Green Bay, they'll probably all wear weird uniforms or something.
I don't think Green Bay is that entertaining. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah,
right now.
neither do I. This has game of the week written all over it, because other than that, you've got Los Angeles, San Fran. No, it's Cleveland, New York, battle for the first pick. Yeah, no, this is the game of the week. Game of the week right here. New England at Tampa Bay. Where are you going, Nick?
New England at Tampa Bay. That is pretty interesting. What are the odds? Do you have those real quick? I just want to see. I want to hear what Vegas is.
Bay minus 2.5.
2.5.
So they're getting the home field. Just barely.
I think that says enough, though. They didn't even get all 3 points. This is going to be tough for the Patriots, but I think the Patriots are going to pull this off. I think they're going to get a win. I know they're due for a loss by now, but I think the squad looks really good. They came across a tough game against Atlanta. Baker Mayfield's going to do what Baker Mayfield does, try to keep it over 10 points in the fourth quarter, and you guys have a good chance of winning that thing. And I think you guys will probably do it. I just like what Vrabel's doing on defense. And he makes it a living hell for those quarterbacks to try to figure out exactly what he's doing. And he finds their weaknesses and he exploits it. So I'd imagine his scheme is going to be designed perfectly for the Bake Show. And I think the Patriots are going to win this thing.
I really hope you're right. The last 4 or 5 years has made me very nervous as a Pats fan.
I know.
I want
so confident.
I want to pick Tampa. I really do, because I'm worried. But you know what? We have Mike Vrabel. We have Drake May. We have Will Campbell. New England.
New England
New
is
England
going
wins.
to win it. Yeah, and I understand Tampa Bay's got a good defense, but I don't know. Let's go with Drake May's got it cooking right now, so I think it's going to work out. So that is it from us. And by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, you can find us other ways. Rob, what are those other ways?
Yeah. So, of course, if you're watching us here on YouTube, you know we're at the Nick and Rob Homer Hour. If you haven't hit that like button yet, please do. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do. We've crossed 550 subscriptions. We're growing and growing. Our goal right now is we want 750 YouTube subscribers by Thanksgiving. That's what we want to see. So if you like what you're hearing, share it with a friend. Make sure you subscribe as well. But besides that, Nick and Rob Homer Hour on Instagram. You can follow us there. If you enjoy listening, but you can't always have the YouTube screen up, you want to be able to listen and bounce around, we are also on Spotify, Nick and Rob Homer Hour.
Mhm.
And if you don't want, you listen to all of us, it was great. You just want to hear a little bit here or there, pull us up on TikTok, Nick and Rob Homer Hour, listen to some of our best shorts.
Yeah, absolutely. And we appreciate you guys coming on. And we did have that big live show. I just wanted to do a couple of shout outs.
Yeah.
C. Matt D joined the show. That was a new one, by the way, Rob. We
Yeah,
have a
new
fan.
new
over here.
fan. Let's go.
Complimented us. I really do appreciate that. Tony, as always, thank you for joining the show. You scared me because you didn't show up till the second half. So I was like, oh no, we lost Tony. That's our number one commenter, but he jumped back in. So appreciate what you do, Tony. Tyler listened to the show. We had a Tino from my job decided to tap in. So
Thanks,
thank you,
Tino.
And Ethan, of course, is another worker that I know that jumped in on that show. So appreciate all you fans watching us during the live feed. Appreciate you guys following along in our content.
And loved having Deshaun on as well. He brings a lot to the live streams. We love having him on.
Yeah, that's his second time on the live stream, and then the first time.
And he's also been on the pod. Yeah,
he's been on the pod too. So he's done a wonderful job helping us out any way he can. Ryan, thank you for joining the show too for this episode. But yeah, guys, I guess we'll see you next time. Good luck to your football teams, and I don't have to watch the Cowboys. Yes. Good week for me, I'll tell you. But we'll see you guys next time.
See you next time.